This is how the greatest people in history structured their day. There are hundreds of videos online about how to structure your day, morning routines, productivity hacks, how to be your best self. But I want to approach it a bit differently. Instead of another checklist, I wanted to look at how 3 of history's most influential people lived their days. Number 1, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Number 2, Marcus Aurelius. And number 3, Benjamin Franklin. All 3 came from completely different worlds. God's final prophet, a Roman emperor, and an American inventor. But when you study their routines, something surprising starts to appear. They structured their days around a very similar rhythm, one that combined discipline, purpose, and reflection. And those patterns tell us a lot about how we can bring balance and meaning back into our own lives today. So I'm going to tell you 5 things that I've noticed. Number 1, they started early. Almost all great figures began their day early. Franklin rose around 5 a.m., bathed, and spent time in quiet reflection before beginning his work. He saw the morning as a time to plan and to prepare his mind, not to rush into tasks. Marcus Aurelius wrote in the Meditations that he often wanted to stay in bed, but reminded himself of his duty, responsibilities, and the preciousness of this one life. He saw waking early not as a lifestyle choice, but as a moral duty, to show up for the responsibilities of life, regardless of comfort. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, would pray before dawn, "Oh God, bless my nation in its early morning." He knew that the first few hours after Fajr, the morning prayer, set the tone for the day, a time when the world is quiet and the heart is clear. We often think waking early is about getting ahead or fitting in more work, but for these men, it was about orientation. They used the early hours to remember who they were, what mattered, and how they wanted to meet the day. In practice, that could mean using your mornings for prayer, journaling, reading, or simply just silence. Anything that helps you start from alignment instead of anxiety. Number 2, they began with intention. Franklin began each morning by asking this question: what good shall I do this day? This takes you out of your own ego and head and allows you to think bigger. Aurelius began by reminding himself that he would meet people who were ignorant, ungrateful, and arrogant, and that his task was to act with patience and justice regardless. He was rehearsing his mindset before entering the world. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught the same truth centuries earlier. He would start his days with deep intentionality, a prayer when waking up, when getting changed, when getting into the bath, when eating, and when leaving the house, as well as many other prayers. It was about constantly being in a state of presence of the divine. This state of presence creates coherence between what we want and why we do it. In the end, it all becomes an act of worship, all for God. In our world today, it's easy to start the day in reaction mode, checking messages, responding to what others are demanding of us. But a person who sets their intention first moves through the day with a lot more intentionality. So don't let anyone steal the peace of your mornings. Number 3, they worked with focus. Franklin divided his day into clear sections: 2 long periods of focus work, usually on experiments, inventions, or writing, and then lighter social tasks around midday, what we could refer to as like checking emails and WhatsApp. He tracked his time meticulously and he did not multitask. Marcus Aurelius had a similar philosophy. He believed a person's worth was measured by how completely they gave themselves to what was in front of them. Concentrate every minute, he wrote, on doing what is in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, demonstrated this in his way of being present. When someone spoke to him, he would fully turn towards them. He never divided his attention. Even in leading armies, mediating disputes, or teaching his companions, he gave each matter its due, one thing at a time. That's what made their work effective, not just intelligence, but attention. Today, distraction is the biggest thief of meaning. We live in an age of distractibility. This is the sin of acedia. It's that inability to stay with one task, desiring something new, and where distractions just seem irresistible. We might spend a whole day busy and still feel empty at the end. So if you want to learn from them, set aside 2 or 3 hours each day where you work without interruption. This is what Cal Newport calls deep work. No phone, no tabs open, no background noise, just focus. So do the thing that truly moves your life forward, what you can call a high leverage task, and treat that time as something sacred. Number 4, they made space for rest. None of them believed in constant work. Franklin scheduled his evenings for rest, reading, music, and conversation. He often used this time to review the day and plan for the next. Aurelius was physically active. He used to train in riding and combat, but also walked alone in nature to think and reset. He saw movement as a way to align the body with the mind. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, lived a life of balance. He said, your body has a right over you, your Lord has a right over you, and your family has a right over you. So give every one of them their due. They all understood that rest wasn't a break from work. It was part of the rhythm that made good work possible. Our culture tends to glorify exhaustion, but when you never stop, you end up becoming a one-dimensional person, devoid of wider meaning. And without reflection, you lose perspective. Building rest into your schedule is a form of discipline. It could be a short walk, exercise, or time with family, or just simply stepping away from screens before bed. Whatever it is, treat it as essential, not just optional. Number 5, they ended with reflection. Franklin's nights were deliberate. Before bed, he would ask, what good have I done today? He also had this really interesting list of 13 virtues like humility, sincerity, and temperaments, and he tracked how often he lived up to these every single night. Aurelius did the same thing, as we see in Meditations, a nightly record of his own thoughts, mistakes, and lessons. He was training his soul in self-awareness. In the Islamic tradition, this has been known as muhasabah, to take account of oneself before one's account is taken. It's not about feeling guilty, but about constant iteration, feedback, and improvement. Prophet Muhammad would end his nights remembering God and encourage people to forgive others and harbor no ill will towards others, which makes you lighter. This habit prevents bitterness from settling. It allows you to wake up with a clear conscience and start again with a clean heart. For us today, this could mean journaling, prayer, or simply reviewing the day in silence. When you look at these 3 lives together, you notice that what made them great wasn't complexity, it was the ability to remain consistent, a routine, and being grounded in deep purpose. They started early, set intention, worked deeply, rested deliberately, and ended with reflection. Every day had a beginning, middle, and end, each with meaning. They didn't separate spiritual from practical life. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Aurelius, and Franklin remind us that the goal isn't to do more, it's to do what matters with presence. And if we can reclaim even a fraction of that rhythm, starting early, working with purpose, resting with gratitude, and closing the day with reflection, our days will stop feeling like survival and start feeling like they belong to us again.